Shalom, Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, of great millstone, who rule well and who have taught us knowledge. Honors and salutations to you, fellow laborers, doing the work week in and week out in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you. Shalom to the Akwap that believe as well. Back at you with another lesson, courtesy of RTnews.com. And you see the title, which it says, UN warns against splitting the world in two. And for us, Israelites that's been given this knowledge and truly believe in the Heavenly Father and the Son, excuse me, this is a good sign, all right? This is a good sign for us because we know that our salvation is near. The scriptures say that our salvation is nearer than even when we believe. So we are rejoicing in the spirit because I myself, and I'm sure you other Akim out there, are tired of this hellhole and tired of watching these heathen, running rampant throughout the earth, not being in shackles and chains, for, all the things they've done to us and to the earth, especially the Edomites, okay? I get irritated watching you heathen thinking you're something when you're nothing, okay? I can't wait till the Heavenly Father and His Son and the rest of the angels take you heathen out the way, because you heathen are most proud, man. All right, this is why your ambitions, okay, your pride is coming to an end. All right, though you be boasted up in your pride, the Most High is showing you to your face that, hey, your end, or your reign is just about over, okay? Because the Most High is the one that appoints your reign or rule, okay? And that's the bottom line, okay? But let's get into this article, though. It says the UN warns against splitting the world into two. Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a detente between the West and China. What's been going on is China, because I got to get this whole China right. China is you're going at it with Babylon the Great, so-called America, with tensions of war, fighting over Taiwan, which rightfully belongs to Moab. But Moab have ambitions to rule the world, and they're sorely mistaken. They're not going to rule anything. All right. Who want to rule the world next is us Israelites, okay? And this is Isaiah 16:6. It says, "We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath. But his lies shall not be so." So your Moabites can fall back, man. Your pride has deceived you, just like it deceived Edom. All right, the so-called white man. It has deceived you as well, Moab. You're not going to rule next. The rule that's coming to this earth, that will be an everlasting rule, will be the kingdom of Israel, all right, which is going to be ruled by Yahweh Shai, okay? And then you're going to have King David sitting on the throne, and then you're going to have the governing body, which is the elect, all right, the elect of the nation of Israel, of the so-called Negro Latino Native Americans, as they call us today, all right? And you have the rest of the remnant. We're going to be the ones that, Lord willing, we're those ones that, usher in the kingdom of heaven, man, and establish righteousness upon this earth, okay? And put your heathen in subjection, all right? So then your Moabites can fall back again, all right? UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, or Gutierrez, whatever, how you pronounce it, has called on the G7 nations to refrain from dividing the world into Cold War-style blocks aligned with either the U.S. or China. Well, it's only a problem when, nations that can fight back go against, the Golden City, all right, Babylon the Great. See, when Babylon the Great go around and stabilizing countries and and murdering, people by way of its cruise missiles. It's no problem. All right, there's no problem when that's going on, right? Going around stealing resources, right? Everybody stands back and watch, right? Where was Antonio Guterres when the U.S. continually bombed Syria? Huh? Where was Guterres or Gutierrez, whatever you want to pronounce his name? Where was he at when they bombed Libya? Huh? But now, see, now they have another world superpower with nuclear capability that can fight back in an all-out war with the U.S. and NATO. Now it's the issue come up, man. See, and then on top of that, the country that has the top or state-of-the-art nuclear weaponry being Russia. All right, which that's Gog in the Bible. All right, they're allies with China. All right, Moab. So you have a major problem on your hand, Babylon the Great, so-called America. See, it says UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on the G7's nations to refrain from dividing the world into Cold War-style blocs aligned with either the U.S. or China. The Western leaders, meanwhile, made Russia and China the focus of a joint statement on nuclear weapons because they know the Russians' nuclear capability and they know the Chinese nuclear capability, which poses a major threat to the U.S. and NATO because they used to, like I said, fighting against countries that can't fight back, man. See? And that's a good sign for us, man. Again, because these nations are rising against each other, and that's one of the signs that our Lord gave, man. Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, and I'll start at 3. Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be?" Now he is being, Yahushua. Okay, that's what it says. That's what it's referring. I'm sorry, that's what it's referring to when it says as he sat upon the Mount of Olives. That was Yahushua speaking with his disciples, man. All right, so Yahushua told his disciples, the changing of times. All right, pretty much. It says, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the end? Sorry, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" Because the disciples was wondering when would the age of the Edomites, because the Edomites was ruling over Israel back then. Okay, which the Israelites that were over at Jerusalem, they was being enslaved by the Romans, man. Which the Romans were the Romans were the captives. The captors. All right, they captured Jerusalem and taking down the Israelites at Jerusalem and made them slaves. Okay, and ruled over them. All right, before they was taken down by Israelites, which transitioned the Roman Empire into the Holy Roman Empire because Israelites ruled. Okay, so they wanted to know, when the kingdom is going to return into the Israelites, because they understood and knew that the Israelites, the children of Jacob, are to rule after Esau. Okay, they knew that the Israelites knew that at Jerusalem. This is the reason why they inquired of Yahushua about these things, right? Now I'm going to jump down to 6 and 7. My main points I want to hit. Verse 6: "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars," which this article I'm reading in right now is about rumors of war between U.S. and China, Russia and the U.S., which right now Russia and the U.S. is in a proxy war. All right, within this Ukrainian war situation. Okay, and the whole world knows it. All right, the whole world knows it. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, because you have the MOTB, all right, which again, that's the prophecy we're looking for to be made, mandatory, the mandatory implementation, of the RFID electronic tag, which is a major prophecy, man. We're watching for to be made mandatory. Okay, the great wrath that the devil is going to come down, upon the inhabitants of the earth. All right, is to be to force you to get that electronic tag, man. Okay, so it says, verse 7: For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And this is the reason why the world superpowers, all right, even the G7 has a division among them, because that's the nation rising. That's the nations rising up against each other. Okay. All right. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So that's what we're watching, the beginning of sorrows, man. And we're watching the signs which Yahweh Shai given, all right here in this precept, and these, in this book of Matthew 24, these precepts I just read. These are the signs, all right, the prophetic signs that Yahweh Shai had given unto his disciples, okay? And they're coming to pass, all right, in these times, okay? So it says, continue on in the article, it says, speaking to Japan's Yodo News, as the leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US met in Hiroshima on Saturday, Guterres called for active dialogue and cooperation between the G7 nations and China on matters of climate change and development. See? So, pretty much, they're trying to simmer down the tensions, but there's no simmering down. Okay? And this is what he said, all right, quote unquote, I believe it is very important to avoid the division of the world into two. And it's very important to create bridges for serious negotiation, he said. Well, there's no negotiating, all right? There's no diplomacy going to come when that judgment comes, okay? And they know it, man. It's over, all right? Take that to the bank and cash that check, It says Gutierrez has repeatedly warned of a brewing Cold War between Western nations and China in recent years, calling the divergent economic, political, and military interests of both sides a great fracture. In 2019, relations between Beijing and Washington, in particular, have taken a nosedive over the last year, with China cutting cooperation with the U.S. on climate issues in response to a visit by then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan in August, and U.S. President Joe Biden threatening military action should Beijing move to retake control of the island. So the island, rightfully so, belongs to the Moabites. But everybody know that. All right, everybody knows that that island belongs to Moab, or so-called Chinese. But that's Esau, coveting fields. Micah 2. It says he covered fields and taken by violence. All right, and then he sets up his military posts, okay, to protect those lands, all right, because it serves his interests, okay, Esau's interests. It's no different than the Middle East, all right. What Esau done in the Middle East is the same thing. Bombed at the head and back with his cruise missiles and set up military posts all over throughout the Middle East and throughout the world, man. See, and so even knowing, all right, even knowing that China has a stronghold within the U.S. Due to its goods, all right, that are imported to America, all right, from China, right? Because China has a lot of exports to many countries in the world, especially the world largest superpower right now, as far as in you know the U.S. Because that's the reason you have the U.S. dollar as a world reserve currency, which you have the nations or the countries moving away from it. But that showed you that the U.S. was in the number one seat, all right, the top seat, if you will. Okay, so it's a whole battle over supremacy. All right, but if China cut off goods supply from America gonna collapse overnight because most things you buy, all right, have within your home come from China. All right. So this is Psalm 68, verse 16. It says, Why leap ye hills? I'm sorry, why leap ye high hills? All right. You top governments, you top leaders in the earth that trying to create, your hegemony throughout the earth, which America has that, the hegemon, you know, pretty much for a long time, man. And it's coming to an end. All right. The whole influence on the whole world, all right, is coming to a rapid end. All right, as far as America being that golden city and having influence over the nations, man. Okay, it says, "Why leap ye high hills? This is the high hill. Sorry, this is the hill which the Heavenly Father desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Lord will dwell in it forever." All right. Now that's talking about Mount Zion, and hey, the Lord's going to be in the midst of the children of Israel forever, because when you think about it, okay, because the Lord, you know, He chose us. All right, He deals with our people exclusively, especially his choices, all right, his choices of his chosen people, which is the elect. All right, and you know, people, all right, are watching the Most High establish, all right, the governing body that's going to be governing under Yahweh Shai King David, right before the very eyes of the whole world. All right, which is that third temple, which is which is the children of Israel, the elect of the children of Israel, though. Okay, so you know, these nations are leaping up, meaning they boasting themselves, trying to fight for supremacy within the earth, when that's going to be given to Yahweh Shai. Okay, Yahweh Shai is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and He's going to conquer the kings of the earth when He come back. See, so the kings of the earth fighting right now means nothing, because when the King of Kings come, excuse me, when the King of Kings come, all right, He's going to put an end to their reign. All right, it says Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage? All right, why are you heathen raging out there? All right, you're going to be in subjection under Yahweh Shai, okay, when He comes. Why do the heathen and under us, by the way, okay? Because we're joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, okay? It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine the vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against His anointed. Yahweh Shai is His anointed, right? Saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. All right, then shall He speak unto them in His wrath and vex them in His sore displeasure, which that's the valley of Jehoshaphat. The Lord is gathering, all right, the militaries, all right, the armies of the earth, all right, into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh's judgment. The word Shabbat means judgment or decision. See, that's spoken about in Joel, all right, the 3rd chapter. So, that's going to happen. All you heathen are going to be judged, man, in that day. As far as the Lord's going to destroy your armies, man. All right, Heavenly Father is known as the Lord of armies. All right, So the Lord of armies are going to destroy, all right, the armies that are upon the face of the earth by using this, his son Yahweh Shai, and the angels, and all right, and also the missiles too. Okay. So let's go from there. Let me see. I think there's a little more in the article I want to read. It says, while Guterres spoke out against the division of the world, a joint statement by the G7 leaders on Friday reinforced that division, focusing on nuclear weapons. The statement accused Russia of irresponsible nuclear rhetoric and undermining of arms control regimes, while describing China's modernization of its nuclear arsenal as a concern to global and regional security. See, it's always all right to serve America's interests. And the nations are tired of America. All right, even the nations that are in league with America. All right, they're tired of your your way of living and your hegemon. Okay, your hegemony. All right, they're tired of it. They're tired of doing what you want them to do. These nations are even going to their own currency, into or forming their own currency that's stronger than the U.S. dollar. That show you that they're not in total agreement with each other. Okay, and then the Russian Edomites, they hate the American Edomites. Okay, and that's going to lead to your fall as well. Let me get that in Mark 3, because you're part of the same house, which is the house of Satan. Okay. This is the book of Mark. And you see the title, it says Yahweh Shai and the Prince of the Demons, right? It says Mark 3:23, and he called unto them and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Now, who are the people of Satan? The Edomites, all right? They're the physical counterparts of Satan. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. The Russian Edomites versus the American Edomites. All right, you have the Ukrainian Edomites against the Russian Edomites. And then you have some of the other, Slakia. Some of my ear. You have some of the other Edomite countries aligning with, different sides, okay? That's a clear division. It says, verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Yeah, this is right now, the kingdom of the Edomites, all right? Esau, Edom, all right, descendants are ruling, okay? That's who the elites of this world, all right, descend from. The house of Esau, Edom. All right, Rothschild, go back to Red Child, man. Okay, you're the Edomites, man. You're the red children that's spoken about in the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, where it calls Esau Edom. All right, meaning red, because the blood showed forth through his skin. All right, his skin is translucent. You're the people that's ruling, right? Verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. And you watching the house of Satan, which are the Edomites, come to an end. That's what we're observing right now. Because who got next? Jacob. All right. That's what the book of 2nd Esdras 6 and 7 is all about. It says from Abraham to Isaac. All right. When Esau and Jacob was born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed it. And who's watching them? Who's watching them and observing? We, the children of Jacob, we're watching and observing Esau's fall. So, continuing on. Let's sit on that precept, right? Let me go to the article. It says right here, I'm in this paragraph right here, Slakia. And to show you the bullshit these security councils have too, by the way, they always want to speak out against countries that can challenge U.S. and NATO, far as or fight back with the same kind of weaponry, if not better, right? Because Russia has better nuclear capability than America. They lash out in these councils against Russia and China being a formidable force as far as militarily as well. You know what I'm saying? They lash out against them because they can fight back and it'll cause a great world war, which this world war will come. All right, but not until the MOTB prophecy come to pass. Okay. All right. You got Jacob's time of trouble coming, as well. It all plays a part of leading up to the World War III. Okay. So, with like I said, with China and Russia being able to fight back, it's a problem now. Okay. When they was going around the earth bombing these nations that come fight back, they just went to these security councils, made up lies. But they made up lies like, weapons of mass destruction. You heard those lies. Niggas like fucking Colin Powell, excuse my French, that nigga. All right. They always use a coon ass nigga, all right, to be a spokesperson. Like this one chick, they got a Levite woman, a so-called Haitian woman. She's one of the White House speakers, and she look like a fucking she's like a fucking goof, man. All right, excuse me. She like a fucking goof out there, speaking on Esau's behalf. Okay. We all know what Esau has done. We all know he's a son of perdition. All right, now that perdition is upon him. All right, that perdition means, or the word perdition, I'm sorry, means destruction. Okay, look it up. All right, let's go to it. That means destruction when you look up the word. Okay, son of perdition. See, let's define it. Perdition. They going off with this eternal. What says? It just simply means destruction. It says state of eternal punishment, a damnation into which a sinful and unpenitent person passes out. See, that's going off, right? It says similar to damnation, hell, hellfire, doom, ruination, condemnation, destruction, downfall. Right, completely to destruction is the etymology. So this is where, all right, this is where Babylon is heading. All right, heading to a completely state of ruin because when the Mosai rain arrows upon it, because the nuclear war tensions is because those arrows, which are the ICBM missiles, all right, can do great damage. So people are scared. See? But the Lord had them created to take you out, Esau. He had you create a weapon, all right? Because your blessing is the sword. When you go to Genesis 27, Esau's blessing is the sword. Esau is Esau is pretty much, building up his own doom. That show you the power of the Heavenly Father because the Most High put the spirit on these Edomite scientists to create the missiles, which the Heavenly Father is going to rain upon Esau. So he had Esau create them to destroy him. All right, himself. Okay. That's the power of Yahweh, man. Yahweh is the potter, man. He's that force, or he's that power, all right, to be feared greatly because he's in control. See? So much, hey, like I said, so powerful that he had Esau create his own instrument of destruction. All right, to destroy his own kingdom and society, man. But then Esau's boasting about his blessing, the sword. So your own blessing gonna take you out, Esau. Let's go to Isaiah. That's scary right there, man. All right, and Lord willing, that made sense. I'm not the best at wording things, but I try to do my best to word it where you can understand it. So, Lord, when you can, understand where I'm coming from, and Lord, when it's edifying, because this is happening. Okay, Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Now, the smith are the scientists, all right, that created the ICBM missiles. And then you go to the missiles, which is the top sword on earth. They has a lot of power. All right, within this force when they explode. All right, now let's go to let me see. You know what? I'm in the wrong chapter. Went the wrong way. Let's get the missiles. Let me go up. Here we go. There we go. Revelation 9 and let me see. Revelation 9. I'll start at 14. 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men, which is Esau. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And this is talking about the missiles, right? When you do your math, right, you do 200,000 times 1,000, and you'll get your number. It says, and that's what the Heavenly Father's going to do, okay? And I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. See? Because the missiles are made of metal, but then you have the uranium, okay, which is in the head. All right, because within the head that's where the boom comes from. All right, you have the rocket that propels the missile. All right, then you have the guiding system. You got the missiles have guiding systems. All right, that shoots them through the air and guides them through the air like an arrow shot of a mighty archer. Okay. It says, verse 18, by these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth. Again, the warhead itself, the nuclear warhead is where the power of the missile lies. Okay. It says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. The rocket. All right, the rocket that propels it. Okay. Which is powerful. When hypersonic, man, that thing's so fast. All right, look up hypersonic missiles and you'll see how fast they are. All right. It says, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. See? So, this is going to take, Esau out. All right, these missiles, which the Lord put on the spirit of the Edomite scientists to create them again. All right. So let's go back from there. All right. It says, let me read a little more of the article. Let me get ready to close. It says, on the other hand, Russia has bitterly condemned the UK for supplying depleted uranium ammunition to Ukraine. Russian forces struck a warehouse containing British supplied depleted uranium shells in the city of Khmelnytsky last week, sending a radioactive cloud towards Western Europe. Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev stated on Friday. The Kremlin previously stated that the British will be held accountable for sending such weapons to Ukraine. See, hey, them Russian Edomites ain't nothing to fuck with, man. When it comes out in the military, they have them swords. All right? Bear me 1 second. All right, they scared of, no, the Edomites outside of Russia are scared of them Russian Edomites, the ones that's not aligned or not in agreement with them. They're scared of them Russian Edomites because they're the toughest of the Edomites. In militarily, they have the best equipment. Not the whole world is seeing that. All right, because I just did a video, my last video. I believe I mentioned where they shot missiles over there. All right, I spoke about. I know I spoke about it as well, but they shot missiles over there and destroyed the Patriot system, and they destroyed warehouses containing uranium, depleted uranium. All right. It says the Kremlin previously stated that the British will be held accountable for sending such weapons to Ukraine. Moscow has also accused Kiev of attempting to cause a nuclear disaster by shelling the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant on Russian territory. The G7 leaders' statement condemned Russia for taking control of the plant while making no mention of Ukraine's attacks on it. See? The Mossad have truly put the hooks into the mouth of Gog. They got them going hard at the U.S. through this proxy war with Ukraine. All right, it's really between Babylon the Great and Gog. All right, and to be quite honest, Gog is winning. All right, the so-called Russians are winning. All right, and they know it. They're trying to cause Ukraine to hold up as long as they can, but everything they give Ukraine is failing. See, because the Heavenly Father, all right, is going to send out that north country against Babylon. Okay, and they're gonna spin the arrows upon Babylon. All right, but let's not get ahead of ourselves again. The MOTB, all right, hasn't been made mandatory. All right, Jacob's Time of Trouble is not, in effect as of yet, but real soon it will be. Then we're gonna see the destruction after all these things come to pass. So, with that, I want to say, Lord willing, this video have been edifying. And until the next time, I want to say to you Ach and you Achwaf. I'm sorry, you Achium and you Achwaf Salakia. Plural, your brothers and sisters. Shalom to the next video. All right, shalom.